Okay, picture this. You wake up one morning, look out your window, and there's a wall slicing right through your city.
Yeah, overnight.
Suddenly, people you see every day, places you go, they're just gone on the other side.
Completely unreachable.
And this wasn't, some sci-fi plot. This was real life for Berliners.
Absolutely, a harsh reality.
So in this deep dive, we're looking at the Berlin Wall, but not just the bricks and wire. We're digging into what it symbolized, this icon of a fractured world.
Definitely. The Berlin Wall, I mean, the name itself carries so much weight, doesn't it?
It really does.
It was just this unavoidable symbol of the Cold War, a physical line showing that deep ideological split between East and West.
Right. And it stood there for, how long was it exactly?
Almost 30 years. 28 years it dominated the city, a constant reminder of that division.
And the timeline is striking, too. It went up, like you said, almost literally overnight, August 13th, 1961.
A real shock.
And then came down, pretty unexpectedly for many, November 9th, 1989.
A day nobody saw coming. Quite like that.
As we were looking into this, it's amazing how relevant it still feels. It's history, yes, but it tells us so much about human resilience, about these complex political forces that, honestly, we still see playing out.
Oh, absolutely. And think about that initial construction, August 61. Imagine the sheer confusion, the fear.
That's been chaos.
One day, you can move around your city, maybe see family in another sector. The next, boom, a barrier, put up by the GDR, the East German Communist government.
And the purpose was pretty blunt, wasn't it?
Extremely blunt. Seal off East Berlin, stop the flow of people heading to West Berlin, which was this sort of island of Western democracy right inside East Germany.
So for those 28 years, it wasn't just a border.
No. It was the front line, the sharp edge of the Cold War right there in the middle of a city.
And you can't really talk about the wall without talking about some key people involved. Walter Ulbricht, this East German leader, he comes up immediately.
Right. And that infamous quote.
Oh, the quote. Just weeks before they started building, he says, Niemand hat die Absicht, eine Mauer zu errichten.
No one has the intention of building a wall.
The sheer, audacity of saying that, knowing what was coming, it's kind of staggering.
It really is. It gives you chills. Thinking about the level of deception involved, saying that with such certainty while the plans were, basically ready to go.
It tells you a lot about the regime.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you have major figures like U.S. presidents.
Yeah.
Kennedy, for instance.
Yeah, JFK. His Ich bin ein Berliner speech. That was a huge moment, wasn't it?
Immense. A powerful statement of solidarity. Imagine being a West Berliner feeling surrounded and hearing the leader of the free world say, I am a Berliner.
It must have meant the world. It sent that message. We see you. You're not forgotten.
Exactly. And then years later, another iconic moment with Ronald Reagan.
Right. Reagan at the Brandenburg Gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
That phrase just echoed, didn't it? It became this rallying cry.
A very direct challenge, a call for freedom, for unity, right there on the world stage.
These leaders, through moments like that, through their policies, they were navigating incredibly tense times. And their words, their actions, they really did shape history.
But beyond the big political names and the strategies,
Yeah.
the wall's real story is maybe down on the ground with ordinary people.
That's so crucial to remember. This wasn't just abstract politics. It tore families apart, separated friends, neighbors, whole communities.
Yeah.
And the sources we looked at, they really bring that home. You find these incredibly moving stories of heartbreak, but also, amazingly, stories of triumph and resilience born out of that division.
And that resilience. Wow. Some of the escape attempts are just mind-blowing.
Unbelievable ingenuity and courage.
People digging tunnels. Can you imagine? The sheer effort, the danger, digging under the death strip.
Constantly fearing discovery, collapse.
Or building homemade hot air balloons. I mean, trusting your life to something stitched together in secret, trying to float over guards and fences.
It sounds like something out of a movie, but it was real. People were that desperate, that determined to reach the West.
What does that level of risk-taking tell us about the human desire for freedom?
I think it shows it's fundamental. It's not just a nice idea, it's a core human need, something people will risk absolutely everything for. It wasn't impulsive either. These escapes often involved incredible planning, secrecy, bravery.
Facing down impossible odds.
Exactly. It makes you think about what drives people to that point.
And then there's this really strange, almost surreal aspect of the division, the ghost stations. Can you explain those? It sounds so eerie.
It really was eerie. So You had the subway system, the U-Bahn, which used to connect the whole city.
Right.
When the wall went up, several lines that originated in West Berlin actually passed through tunnels under East Berlin to reach other parts of West Berlin.
Okay.
The East German authorities sealed off the stations on their territory along those lines. They became known as Geisterbahnhof ghost stations.
So the trains just went straight through?
Yes, Western trains would slow down but not stop. Passengers would look out into these dimly lit, deserted platforms. Sometimes you could see armed East German guards patrolling down there.
Wow, that's
It
creepy.
was incredibly unsettling, a tangible symbol of the division. These empty spaces, frozen in time since 1961, right beneath the feet of East Berliners,
Hmm.
but only visible to Westerners passing through.
Like a star running under the city. A constant, visible reminder of what was lost. So close, yet so utterly out of reach.
Precisely. A very powerful, very strange daily reality for people on those trains.
But that reality, that division, it didn't last forever. November 9th, 1989, the wall falls. How did we get to that point? What led up to it?
Well, it wasn't one single thing. It was more like a pressure cooker building up steam for months, even years.
Okay.
You had growing peaceful protests, particularly in cities like Leipzig in East Germany. People were finding their voice, demanding change.
The Monday demonstration.
Exactly. Plus, big political shifts were happening across Eastern Europe. Hungary had opened its border with Austria earlier that year, creating a loophole,
Right. East Germans could travel to Hungary.
and then cross to the west. The GDR was losing control. The Soviet Union under Gorbachev wasn't intervening like it might have before.
So the pressure was mounting internally and externally.
Immensely. Then came that famous, slightly bungled press conference.
Ah, yes, the announcement about travel regulations.
The official, Günter Schabowski, seemed unprepared and sort of mistakenly announced that new, more liberal travel rules would take effect immediately.
What they weren't meant to yet.
Exactly. Or at least not in that way. But the news spread like wildfire. People started flocking to the border crossings at the wall.
Thousands of people showing up.
Tens of thousands. And the border guards. They were completely caught off guard. No clear orders on how to handle this massive crowd demanding to cross.
What a position to be in.
Incredible pressure. Eventually, one commander at the Bornholmer Strasse crossing just gave the order. Open the gates.
And that was it. The wall was breached.
That was it. An unbelievable night of pure emotion, disbelief, joy, tears, people climbing the wall, dancing, celebrating.
It's hard to even imagine the feeling. It really felt like the end of an era, didn't it? The symbolic end of the Cold War.
Absolutely. It wasn't just about Berlin or Germany reuniting, though that was huge. It felt like this massive ideological dam had finally broken.
What was the immediate aftermath like? Beyond the celebration?
Well, immense joy, obviously. Families reunited after decades. But also a lot of uncertainty. How do you actually put two countries, two very different systems, back together after 40 years apart?
Huge logistical, economic, social questions.
Massive ones. So it was this incredible moment of hope, this euphoria, but mixed with some very real challenges ahead. A truly pivotal moment in history.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it's just so clear the Berlin Wall was so much more than concrete and wire.
Oh, definitely.
It's this enduring symbol, really, a testament to how powerful ideology can be, both in dividing and eventually in being overcome.
And also a testament to human resilience, right? The determination to connect, to be free.
Absolutely. And maybe, ultimately, a symbol of reconciliation, that even deep divisions can heal.
Which kind of leads us to a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about this history, the wall, its fall, what lessons can we maybe pull from that for today?
That's a good question.
You know, divisions still exist, political, social, maybe closer to home in our communities. How might that spirit we saw in Berlin, that hope, that push for connection, maybe even just dialogue, how might that still apply? Something to maybe reflect on.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? That even walls that seem permanent, they can come down, driven by that basic human need for freedom and connection.
Indeed.
Well, thanks for exploring this with us today. It's been a fascinating deep dive.